Scottish ruling group and the ruling group in the rest of Britain, which is very advantageous to Scotland, extremely so. The comrades of Edinburgh live in a city which contains the headquarters of some of the largest banks in the world. Scotland is an imperialist, or part of an imperialist country that's benefited for centuries from British imperialism to the full extent. There's been no disadvantage whatsoever. The deal has been extremely good for the capitalist class, which is what counts. May have been bad for parts of the working class, but that's another matter. It seems to me the interest which does not enter into the argument, any of the arguments of the comrades, which is, I congratulate them on their honesty for this, but there's not. The question is, what is the interest of the working class? Not, can we get independence? I mean, the comrades, as I say, are honest enough to state that what they're actually after is independence on a capitalist basis. Now, it seems to me there's two things. First of all, I don't see any advantage to the working class of independence. In fact, there's a disadvantage. If you look at the past period, if we go through the whole of the period, either over the last 30 years, the vast bulk of the struggles of the working class have been conducted at a British level. We can go through anything from the miners' strike, from the struggle against the poll tax, to the struggle against cuts in the civil service, the whole lot. The entire thing has been conducted on that level. Now, to split that, as the comrades are proposing, is actually to weaken our strength, is actually to produce a position in which we can be further attacked. The capitalist class is not intending to concede. The comrades here, and also Comrade Fox this morning said, our job is to go and convince workers that independence would be good for them. I don't see a case, comrades, I do not see a case. The capitalist class is intent not on giving any reforms, not on giving anything out, but on beating down the standard of living of the working class. Now, if that working class is further split by means of a move to independent Scotland on a capitalist basis, as the comrades are proposing, then actually that will assist them in doing so. Living standards for workers will go down. I don't see, I don't see anything that would stop that, other than a united working class. Now, it seems to me the whole process at the moment is to go in the other direction. What the comrades are proposing, and what people are proposing by means of moving to independence, is to say, well, we're trying to have our own little particular island, as it were, a sort of version of Cuba. I think the comrades are after. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. The thing is that it's actually going the other way. The working class actually has to organise more on a transnational basis in terms of at least a European basis if it is to resist capital. So, in that sense, I would urge you to support motion 9 and reject motion 8. Thank you.
Samuel Burnley from Kelvin branch supporting motion 9. I mean, the British working class exists. It's got a history. It's fought many battles, and any advances that the working class has made, it's made because of its collective action. We'll look back at the Chartists, we'll look back at the suffragettes, we'll look back at the fights at the miners' strike. It's the working class collectively throughout Britain fighting back. There is a consciousness about working class unity throughout Britain. Still, even although at a very low ebb at the moment, it's still there. The British working class exists. Therefore, the British working class needs a party to express its interests. It needs a political party, and that's why we're for a British White Socialist Party. We should think that the SSP should use its strength that it's got in Scotland in order to work with comrades throughout Britain to build a party to take on the capitalist class in Britain. That is a very different road, and that's the road we should be following. It's a very different road from the road of the Scottish Independence Convention. What do we have here with the Independence Convention? Dominated by the middle class. Who's the chair at the moment? Murray Ritchie, ex-editor of the Herald. It's a middle-class organisation that is wanting an independent capitalist Scotland. That's the reality of it. That's what they're promoting in the Independence Convention. They're discussing how the independence will be able to come about in a smooth transitionary way, i.e. the working class kept down and they move towards a new capitalist state with the capitalist prisons, capitalist police force and the whole thing that we know of, but with the same establishment, but just with a different flag. We should not be given any support for that. That cuts against class unity. In fact, it results in our party not being a socialist party. What we end up doing is going to the House and the States and trying to sell to working class people who are rightfully very cynical of this system and its political parties, but trying to sell to these people, if you vote for independence, you will have a better life, you will be better off, when in fact they won't be better off. Look throughout the world. Capitalist independence is useless for the working class. What it does is actually encourages nationalism, which is the enemy of socialism. British nationalism is in decline. Great, that's a positive thing. You don't get the same nonsense you used to get with the monarchy. That's in decline. Why do we want to substitute Scottish nationalism and the idea that somehow if Scotland has its own state, we'll be in a better position? Scottish working class won't be in a better position. It would be in a weaker position because it would have supported that move towards independence, right? Because they're not going to get independence unless the Scottish working class votes for it. But having said that, the people that lead the Independence Convention will only go for independence if they know that the working class is subservient and quiescent. That is a precondition. It's a precondition to the SNP's policy. Look at some of the new people that are now supporting Scottish independence. Michael Fry, Neil Ferguson, right-wing unionist historians, right-wing pro-imperialists. These are the type of people. I think that by saying that we support independence per se, what you're saying is, even if it's a free market, right-wing Scotland, even if that's a situation that is viciously attacking the working class, we will still support it. That's what you're trying to tell yourself to if you support motion 8. So I should reject that.